All right, so I'm a little excited today because I've never done this before. I've never done this type of custom modding for computers or whatever you want to call it. This is brand new to me. I've actually never done this, so I'm excited. Here on the DLM Tech Garage, we do everything budget friendly. I mean, most of my clients are people who need to stay within a certain budget and can't afford to do things, expensive, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the right word for that is, but so I'm excited to bring this in. So what I got right here is a Chinese water cooling custom kit. That's right, Chinese. Straight from China. Took 3 weeks to get here, and I paid $70 for it on eBay. Includes the CPU block, the GPU block, the radiator, the fans, everything. And of course, there wasn't much details with this. So I got this. I haven't even opened this up myself. So this video might be a 2-3 part series, primarily because I'm still waiting on some other stuff so I could actually go forward with this. But today we're going to be doing an unboxing because, like I said, I haven't even unboxed this myself. So I don't even know if China sent me everything I needed. And if they didn't send me everything I needed, then I guess some SOL. And we'll have to come up with some way to do it. So we'll figure it out. So we're going to do an unboxing. And we're actually going to just test it up outside of the computer just so we can kind of see if this thing works. So this is exactly how it came from China, shipped just like this. I mean, literally just like this, so hopefully nothing got damaged. First thing right off the back is our fans. And let's go ahead and open these up. All right, so our fans are LED freeze mod. Never heard of it. Guess it has some RGB goodness to it. I don't know, like I said, I just got this. Of course, Molex. I hate Molex. And they're not PWM. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, what do you expect for a $70 kit? But hey, it'll work, I guess. And if not, we could put better fans in there, so we can always make it better. So let's put that somewhere. Let's see what else we got in here. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to move this box over here, and we'll bring everything over, and then we'll lay it out just like that. What do we got in here? All right, so we got, looks like our GPU and CPU block. So I don't know which one is which, and I don't see instructions in there. So we're just gonna have to figure that out as we go, but it's all right. That kind of makes it more fun, right? Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Well, this thing is actually stuck in there pretty good. So, yep, all copper, threaded in fittings. And this feels kind of loose. Okay, maybe it needs to be tightened up. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but a little loose there. It's got Torx. Is that security Torx? I don't know. Either way, we'll figure out how to tighten that up when the time comes. So we got that. Like I said, I don't know which one is which. That might be the CPU block. I'm pretty sure that's actually the CPU block. If I'm wrong, we'll find out later. So we're going to go ahead and open this one up. You know what? In fact, that is the CPU block. And I'll tell you why in just a sec. This is going to be our GPU block because GPU is going to mount this way, and that's where our tubes are going to run out. So, all right, this one doesn't feel loose, so that's a good thing. All copper, plastic, very nice, very clean. So, all right, we have that. Let's move this over here. The next thing we have, of course, we have hardware. So hopefully this hardware is actually good. I don't know. Okay, it comes with plastic spacers, springs for tension. All right, so this might be pretty decent. Next thing we got. Okay, this is going to be our reservoir. That's actually pretty heavy duty. I'm a little impressed on how that feels. That feels, yeah, it's got a little weight to it. I don't know if you can feel that. You feel that? Okay, no, probably not. All right, got the mounting brackets, the hardware for it, and okay, yeah, let's take these out so we can better see them. Yep. Oh yeah, this clips on pretty nice. All right, very happy with that, so pretty good. So let's just put that back in here. Aluminum mounting brackets, so wherever case we decide to put it in, that's what we use. And yeah, we're actually going to put this in the computer, believe it or not. I don't know. Let's go with this. We got our rubber tubing, which Not sure if that's 1/2 inch or 3/8, which I think that's actually 1/2 inch. So rubber tubing, got enough of it. Like I said, don't know the brand because it really didn't have any much information on this at all whatsoever. So let's move this junk out of here because we got so much junk in the way. Next thing we got comes in a white box, which I don't know how to open it, but we're just gonna open it whatever way. Okay, we got our pump. Oh, once again, Molex, but I think I ordered some adapters for that, so I think we'll have a fix for that. I like this acrylic. I will say this stuff, I mean, even though it is cheap, it don't feel cheap. We'll see how it runs. Okay, got our impellers right over there and our inlet outlet or however we decide to do it. So we'll figure this out. I've never done this. So let's put that over here. I don't want to throw away this stuff too much because I got to put it back when we're done. And we are going to test this. Next, which I'm pretty sure I know what this is, our radiator. Okay, so maybe this does feel a little cheap. Not too bad. I like that it's sealed in there. I don't know if this is aluminum or copper. I'm hoping this would be copper so we could not mix metals in there. So we'll figure that out. We'll test that. You can see the gap in there. I mean, I wish this thing was a little more, well, I guess it gives you the room for the screws and everything, but let's get a measuring tape. All right, I got a measuring tape. Let's see if we can measure the thickness of it. 1 1/8, about a 1 inch tank. All right, so we have the radiator that this kit comes with, and one more box. And this box is going to be our fittings for our stoppers, so to seal up whatever hose we don't use. Don't know what that is. We got our fittings, so we can put them into our inlet outlets on the pump. Our nice clamps, extra security. Oh, that's cute. Gives me a little funnel to fill up the reservoir. Very nice. Very, very nice. So that is everything. And like I talked about, no instructions. No instructions on what anything is, or for us newbies, how to do it. But it's okay. YouTube is a plethora of knowledge, and I should be able to find a video on how to do this. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this out. We're gonna look at it, and I'm actually gonna grab a test power supply. Let's get this back in over here. And I'm gonna grab a test power supply. I'm actually gonna fill this thing up with water. We'll talk about that in just a sec. And we'll see if this thing works or if it leaks all over the place. That's why I'm not trying this on the motherboard just yet. So we'll talk about that in one sec. All right, so let's get this thing cleaned up real quick. Let me grab a test power supply and we'll get some water and we'll see if it works. All right, so we got our power supply that we're going to be using, and I actually got to grab an adapter, which I have over here. I'll pop this thing out. Get the phone out of here. Don't want to electrocute that if this thing decides to go haywire on me. Okay. That worked. All right. Oh, we got that out the way. All right. So for water cooling, from the little I do know, you need one of these jumper wires for the power supply. They sell these. Corsair, EVGA, when you buy their power supplies, they do come with these, so you can actually test this your custom water loop without having to actually run it on your computer. So it just snaps right in, just like it would a motherboard. Pop it in, jumps it, and then you have the control of turning it on and off. So at least we have that. So we got our power supply. We're going to use our Corsair RM750X. I mean, it don't really matter what power supply you use. You can use a cheap power supply, so don't matter too much. Okay. So like I said, I don't know much about water cooling. I've watched a couple of videos on it, and this is actually a first for me. So what I just want to do is I just want to run water through this system, see if everything works, even if see if our fans work. That would be nice too. So the first thing I want to do is I actually want to maybe tighten this because I don't know why it's so loose. So let's go ahead and get this a little wrong size. Hopefully this won't have that security thing on it like it looks like. Okay, so these are going to actually not be Torx. Let's pull in two over here. All right, hopefully don't pinch my wires. Let's find the magic one that fits that. There we go. Yeah, these need a little more snugging. You don't want to go gorilla crazy on these things, primarily because this is plastic or acrylic, whatever they call it, and you take a chance of cracking it. So we'll just give it a little snug. Okay, that fixed that a little better. So we just got that a little snugger than it was, and hopefully we didn't cause no damage because that would totally suck. I don't think China's big on returning things. I don't know. Probably cost them more to return it than it actually was to what it's worth. All right, so we got our tubing over here, and I kind of hate to cut this because I don't know the length, but we can buy this tubing anywhere. But like I said, we just want to test this out and see. Normally, from what I read on these water coolings, you want to clean these things out. What I'm doing is I'm just going to run it with water, then clean it out with distilled water. Let me talk about that real quick. So you need to use distilled water. Distilled water doesn't have all the harshness, chemicals, iron, whatever is in our normal drinking water. Yeah, and it's actually better for it, so it doesn't reduces the chances of corrosion and everything. Another thing that you want to do is use a biocide. I'm waiting on the biocide. That's the reason why we're not actually setting this loop up officially. So yeah. So those are two things you want to keep in mind when you're setting this up from what I've read and what I understand. I'm a noob at this. I've never done this before. So if anybody has any comments below, hey, let me know. I mean, I've watched a bunch of videos, so I guess if you watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, that makes you an expert. I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually end up cutting that thing up. We're going to set everything up. We're just going to do a test without the motherboard, without anything on it, because I'm curious if this thing works. I mean, I don't know. It might work, it might not work. And I'm not going to plug it into a motherboard and fry a motherboard, or especially my test bench, and then we regret everything. So, yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and take all this apart. All right, not too worried about the hardware. We're going to put that back in the box over there. Let's move all this stuff over here because we do want to put it back for later. Okay. So, I think what this is it looks like a drain port, and I put my tool away, and I think that's actually what drains this. So, that's what it appears to be. Not 100% sure, but hey, we'll figure it out. So I'm going to take these fittings, I'm going to go ahead and thread these in. Hopefully they feel smooth. There we go. It's just like working on a vehicle or anything of that nature. If it goes in rough, stop, because then you're going to strip it. And I don't want to strip this because I don't want to wait another 3 weeks for replacement parts or buy another kit. So I'm going to do this hand tight, snug, and if it leaks, we'll tighten it up later. Okay. Just snug there. They all look the same, so I imagine they all are the same. I don't know. So let's get that snug. I might give it a little oomph later with a wrench if it leaks, but like I said, this is getting taken apart, and we're going to tinker around with this later. So now, all right, let me pause for a sec and let me come up with a plan of attack. And when I come back, we'll see what we do. Okay, so we're back. So after just looking online and just coming up with an idea, I got an idea of how I want to do this. So this kit is very precise on how they want you to do things, as far as the fact that they don't give you a ton of extra fittings and you kind of just got to make it up as you go. So the kit gives you an adapter, a male-to-male adapter, which I decided to use it to put the pump to go. Oh man, it's already scratched. Just bought it. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, ain't that a monkey? Well, anyways, so it gives you a male-to-male adapter, if you can see right over here, and I attached the reservoir to the pump. So when I fill it, it'll send water through the pump, and that's how we're going to do that. So the way I'm going to run it is I'm going to run my radiator into my CPU block into the top of the pump, and then from the top of the reservoir, bottom of the reservoir, into here, and then back into the radiator. And that's how I'm going to complete my loop. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to cut the tubes. I'm going to have to buy more tubes for when I actually set it up on the bench, and then when I also decide to set it up on the computer that we're going to build it in. But today it's just to test this. I want to see if this thing works, if it leaks, you know what I mean? I'd rather just have all the damage now, because this is probably the sketchiest thing I've done, because, I mean, it's a no brand. Another thing, I've looked at other brands and Thermaltake and EK and all that stuff, and these kits are expensive. I mean, they go anywhere from upwards of $300 to $500 depending on the kit, so it's quite an investment. So for me to use this and to learn and actually get comfortable with water cooling, it's a great tool to actually just figure out how to do it. So I've never done this before. I know it's not rocket science, but hey, why not learn? For 70 bucks, I think that's actually a good investment in itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these tubes. All right, so hopefully the scissors work. I need to get something that cuts this a lot better. This tube you can buy at Lowe's, or I could just order some online. It's not incredibly expensive. So we're just gonna cut this. This is, you know, it'll be a little precise. I'm gonna fit that in right there, and we'll put the clamps in after the fact, but I just wanna mock this thing up. And yeah, so I'm gonna mock this thing up right over here. All right, I will say that is pretty tight how that works. And then we're gonna mock this one up right over here. Okay, and let's give a little extra slack for that. Oh, it's already getting sketchy. Probably should give that a little more slack. Let's get my tube. I'm gonna mock that into right over here. And the scissors actually work really good at cutting it, so. Let's pick this up. And for our last one, this is gonna go right in here. Just to right over there. All right, so our loop is complete. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and open these up, and I'll do this off camera because I'm sure this is a no-brainer. And I'm actually gonna clamp all this stuff down, set this up real quick, and then when we come back, we'll get ready to start filling this with water. All right, so I got this thing assembled, put together. Got the clamps on there, which they actually work pretty good. Just had to make sure I got them over the little, whatever you call that, the little hump right there, just to clamp them in there pretty good. These hoses go on this thing really tight. I mean, they have a nice snug fit, so I guess that's always a good thing. The fans, I just got them kind of mocked in here just to see if they spin. I'm just curious if they spin and whatnot, and if they spin good, then great. If not, then whatever. So not too worried about that, and we'll see how they look. Kind of got my vise set up just loosely over here just to kind of hold this in place, just so it don't topple over. So I don't think it should topple over. We should actually be pretty good. So I think we'll be all right. Maybe I could set that up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So, all right. So I got everything plugged up. Got the Molex all hooked up and everything, which when I either set it up for my bench PC or actually put this in a computer, I'm actually gonna get the adapter because I just don't like running Molex anywhere in a computer. So yeah, that's that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour the water in, distilled water. Off camera, I actually did clean this thing out a little bit and blew it out and just make sure there was no gunk so I don't clog anything up. So I did take care of that. I'm sure somebody was saying, hey, you need to clean it before. Yeah, we did that already, so we're good there. And now I'm curious to see if this leaks, if it works. The one agitating thing is I did scratch this a little bit. I don't know if I did it with those clamps or something else, or maybe it came scratched. I don't know. Probably should have paid more attention to that. So now what we're gonna do, and hopefully this goes well, is we're gonna pour distilled water in it. This pour sound is actually very satisfying. Well, this is why we're doing it on the bench, because it's my first time, and I could say this funnel sucks because it just gets like no volume of water in there, but patience. Not to mention I'm using a gallon of distilled water, so I'm gonna fill this up just about there. Okay. All right, let me get some shop towels. Let's just wipe up this extra water. All right. So far, minus the water that I've spilt a little bit, I don't see any leaks. So, all right, let's turn this thing on, cross our fingers, everything works. There's the button. Okay, no lights from there. Whatever. All right, so our pump is not spinning. That's rather unfortunate. So, very curious to see why it's not spinning. Definitely curious to see why it's not spinning. Probably because it's cheap Chinese. I mean, yeah. I don't know. All right, so the fans work. I mean, no lighty goodness, but I think probably because it needs the 3-pin plugged in, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, actually, I think so. Yeah, it's just power. So let's pause this video real quick and let's try to figure out if this pump is bad. Kind of a bummer right now. So let's pause for a sec. All right, so we got this thing disassembled, and what we're going to do now is we're just going to take the pump apart. I mean, at this point, it doesn't work, so we don't have anything to lose. And maybe it's stuck, maybe it needs to be lubed, I don't know. So let's find out why this pump is not spinning, because that is rather unfortunate. And if not, maybe we'll just buy another pump, but either way, spend $70 on this kit. I mean, I should get some money's worth. I should at least have been able to fire it once. At least give me a week before it goes bad, you know? Not working right away, so. But then again, international shipping. I mean, thing might have dropped a few times or something, so let's see what's going on with this pump. This pump does not want to move freely. So, all right. It's a bit magnetic, so I don't know if you can open this up. It doesn't like want to move. All right, let's plug this in. Hopefully this is not too much of a disaster. I hear it wanting to move, so that is somewhat of a good sign, I guess. All right. Let's pause for a sec. Let me take a look at this and we'll come back and see if we can figure out why this don't work. Well, this concludes our video, so a little anticlimactic. Our pump is dead. I mean, I took it apart, try to run water through it several times, and it spins, but it just won't come back to life. I mean, if we play with it, it kicks back on, turns off. The issue is it doesn't kick on its own without a little help, and I don't know what's going on with it. This thing is pretty difficult to take apart, and maybe I'll just sit around and just kind of try to rip this thing apart and play with it, but I guess I'm going to stop this video right over here. So, cheap Chinese Sketchy water cooling kit. Yeah, you get what you pay for. I had a little bit of hopes for it. I mean, I did. I was hoping for, you know, this thing to be decent, at least get at least a couple of, you know, good Cinnamon run or run a little Prime 95, get this thing up to temperatures. But unfortunately, I guess either this pump didn't survive shipping or it's just junk. And I'm going with the latter of the two, which is junk. So I've tried cleaning it, lubing it, tried a bunch of different things. And yeah, this pump's just a bit of weak sauce going on, honestly. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But oh well, it's not the end. We're actually not going to give up on this water cooling kit because we still got a radiator and we still got this block. The radiator didn't leak, the blocks didn't leak. I mean, even though we didn't have much pressure flowing through them, but they did hold water. So I'm probably going to get on the Amazon and order a pump, maybe 40, 50 bucks, and give this kit another whirl. So the cheap Chinese water cooling kit for $70 on eBay. Is it worth this money? I don't know. I can't honestly say. I mean, if the pump worked, then I could give a better review. But as of now, this pump don't work. So I guess that's the way it goes. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Unfortunately, I didn't get lucky with this one. So yeah, that's where we're at. But I will say, even though I spent $70 doing it, I did learn how to set up a kit, set this thing up. I do understand how it works, and I got most of what I need. Like I said, I still got this water block over here and GPU block, and hopefully they will work and hold up. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, this reservoir held, didn't leak or anything like that. So, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's okay. And this is what it is in a budget tech garage. Sometimes the budget doesn't always work out. So, yeah. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. I mean, what would you have done different to actually try to repair this thing, or maybe I'm missing something, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this pump don't work. I mean, I even tried running it with water and getting in the system and it still didn't work. So that's the way it works. Sketchy AF, a little bit, but not too bad. I still want to try this stuff out and see if it's worth anything. So like I said, comment down below, thoughts, suggestions, all that good stuff as I try to kill this gnat. And let me know what you think, all right? Thanks for watching, and hopefully part 2 of this video, we actually will have a pump that works and we can actually put this kit to a test and give it somewhat of a review. So thanks for watching. Let's see what we come up with next.